Jack turned and began traveling toward the town. The twins ran after him. "Thank you so much," Alex called back to the harp. "You're welcome," the harp said. "Come back and visit me, please." Jack was a very fast walker. His legs were much longer than the twins, so they found it difficult to keep up with him. "It's very kind of you to let us tag along," Alex said to Jack, but he never looked up from the ground. "You're not much of a talker, are you?" Connor said. "I don't have much to say," Jack said. Connor nodded at him. He understood completely. As they neared the town, Alex pulled Connor aside. "How lucky is this?" she said. "If we get inside the castle and get a hold of the basket, we'll be out of this kingdom in no time." They traveled into the town and reached the castle. There was a set of large wooden doors at the castle's entrance. Jack knocked on the door. A moment later, a small window in the middle of the door opened, and a set of eyes appeared. "Who goes there?" said a voice on the other side of the doors. "It's Jack," Jack said again. "Who is that behind you?" the voice demanded, and the eyes looked over Jack's shoulder to Alex and Connor. They awkwardly waved. "Oh, what are your names again?" Jack asked the twins. "Alex and Connor," Alex told him, and gave him a thumbs up. "These are my friends, Alex and Connor. They're accompanying me to the castle today," Jack said. The doors opened and the twins followed Jack into the castle. It felt like a condensed version of Cinderella's palace. The halls weren't quite as long and the furniture wasn't quite as nice. There were many portraits hung on the walls, but they all were of Queen Red Riding Hood, at various ages, in different poses, each one more grand than the last. The twins waited with Jack in a hall outside another set of doors. Jack knocked on the doors and immediately took a seat on a bench outside them. "This always takes a moment," Jack said. A series of footsteps and sounds of rushing about came from the other side of the doors. "Wait! Don't open the door! I'm not ready yet," someone whispered. "Hand me that cape." "No, not that one. The other one, with the hood. Hurry." Jack began to whistle as he waited. "How do I look? What about my dress? Does it seem all right to you?" the whispers continued. "All right, I'm ready. Let him in, quickly." Jack stood up just as the doors were opened by a pink-faced and out-of-breath handmaiden. She escorted Jack inside and the twins followed. They entered a long room with tall windows on both sides. The walls were covered in more portraits of the queen. Looking up from the floor was a giant wolf head with red eyes and a set of sharp teeth. It looked just like it looks just like one of the wolves the twins had seen in the dwarf forest, and it alarmed them at first, before they discovered it was just a wolf skin rug spread out on the floor. The twins knew, without asking, that the rug must have been the big bad wolf himself at one point. At the very end of the room, perched elegantly, almost too elegantly, on a large throne, was Queen Red Riding Hood. "Hello, Jack," Red Riding Hood said. Red Riding Hood was a very pretty young woman, around the same age as Jack. She had bright blue eyes and blonde hair that was done up glamorously behind her crown. She wore a long red gown with a matching hooded cape and a pink corset. She wore a necklace with a massive diamond. Her shoulders were completely bare, and she wore a pair of long gloves with a dozen sparkly rings on her fingers. She was showing too much skin, wearing too much makeup, and she was dressed too well for the middle of the day. "Hello, Red," Jack said. "What a surprise! I wasn't even expecting you," she said. "Uh-huh," Jack said. "And I see you brought, guests?" Red asked. She was not happy to see that she and Jack were not alone. "Yes, this is Alex and Connor," Jack said. "Hello," Alex said bashfully. "What's up, Red?" Connor said, and was then elbowed by his sister. "Hello," Red said behind a clenched and very fake smile. "Welcome to my castle. Please have a seat." Red clapped her hands, and two servants placed a large, cushy chair right next to her throne for Jack to sit on. They brought Alex and Connor each a small stool to sit on some distance away from Red and Jack. Jack moved the chair back away from the throne a couple feet before sitting on it. He handed Red the basket he had made for her. Is this for me? Red asked him. Oh, how thoughtful of you. You are just too sweet for words. I'll cherish it. You always do, Jack said. So tell me, what's new with you? Red asked Jack. She was leaning toward him as far as she possibly could without falling off of her throne. Nothing much, Jack said. Same old, same old. His body language made it obvious that he was ready to leave from the minute he'd sat down. How's the kingdom? Oh, I never bother myself with all that talk of economy and security and peasant needs and blah, 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 Red said. My granny takes care of all that for me. She's much better at that than I would ever be. Red got tired of holding the basket. She snapped her fingers and her handmaiden collected the basket from her. Put it with the others, Red instructed.